Today for Conspiracy Corner, we are going to be talking, I feel like it's been hot in the news lately, people have been talking about it more often, is simulation theory. And Lauren, our resident conspiracy theorist, is going to explain it.
I will give you a brief overview of simulation theory. So, basically, we see how fast technology has advanced and how the rate at which it's advancing is always increasing. So, from 1800 to 1900, you see how much advancement there was in technology. Then from 1900 to 2000, whoosh, even we went from like the invention of the car to the internet to the iPhone within 100 years.
Right.
Which is crazy. And just even thinking back to some of the ancient civilizations, which, okay, that's a whole other thing. But let's just assume for the purpose of this theory that they had very basic tools. Mm-hmm. They had very basic transportation.
Lauren and I talked about this the other day, but we'll get into that in another podcast.
We'll
Keep
assume
going.
That they
had basic tools.
In the span of 100 years, they wouldn't make very much technological advancement.
Right.
And now, even just from the year 2000 to the year 2018, the things that are the computing power and medical advancements and everything, the rate at which humanity and civilization is advancing it's always increasing, and I don't know the numbers. There's equations to but
Math.
I'm not going to talk about that. So, simulation theory is the theory that sometime in the near-ish future, computers will be so advanced and have so much computing power that they will be able to run simulations on what past societies had been like. So just think of Sims. It's literally called Sims because it's a simulation.
Like the game, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The computer game. So you make your characters and I never really played Sims, but you make the characters and you kind of direct them around, and you manipulate their environment and kind of see how they react, and then you add in other characters and see how they react to those characters. And that's basically...
So would they put in, like, all of the knowledge that we know for sure about past civilizations, and it would, like, compute what actually happened?
Right,
or?
so it basically what a computer simulation of society would be is they would start with the first humans, and they would let it run from there, and they would include all of the factors of the environment, all of the resources that they had, and just make it a correct simulation of planet Earth, mm-hmm. and they would let it run, and they would see how fast society would advance, and when certain things would happen, and how humans would evolve, and just everything like this. So, yeah, basically the theory is that sometime in the near future, computers will have the power to do these simulations in a really short amount of time. So mm-hmm. they could simulate a million years in 5 minutes or something. Yeah. And I don't know if that's the correct
numbers, but
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So the simulation theory is that we are all figments of someone's imagination in the future. We're all part of a simulation right now.
Spooky.
And some of the things that people use to support this are like, there's videos where this also plays into like the Matrix. The Matrix,
sure, yeah. is essentially the simulation theory. Yeah, there's a bunch of movies that like mirror the simulation theory.
So, say there's been a video that I saw once that was a person with a camera on their car dash, looking out the windshield, and they were driving down the highway, mm-hmm. and there was a car driving next to them, a little bit in front of them, and then all of a sudden it wasn't there, and it didn't turn off, or it just wasn't there anymore. Yeah. So they call those glitches. Glitches in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Or, for example, like another thing that I've seen is, it was a BuzzFeed article called 20 Examples of Glitches in the Matrix. It would be like two people sitting on a bus, one in front of the other. They're exactly identical. They're wearing the same thing. They have the same colored backpack, and it's just two people and it's not.
Are they like
together,
pictures?
And they're pictures. So that's just another example, but people use these glitches to support it, saying that the reason things line up like this is because it's just a glitch in the simulation.
Spooky.
Basically.
So I'm not real. You're not real.
Or we could be real, but we are virtual reality versions of our true selves. So the real me is somewhere with virtual reality goggles on, controlling the simulated version of myself. And maybe my life in the future is so miserable that I feel I need to simulate a new life.
My thing is, like, what if that was
reality?
If that's real, the people who have like horrible lives, just completely messed up lives, they just have like a really sick and twisted real self that wants to like mess with them and see what it would be like.
And I don't know so with every simulation, does every character have to be connected to a real person, or can it just be?
It's just running.
Computer generated.
Yeah, it's just running.
Right.
So like.
Maybe not necessarily. So maybe there are no real selves. So maybe I'm a part of a simulation. And
who started the simulation? There's a lot of parallels you can draw with religion, though.
That is one of the major things that people talk about. Is they get into talking about God and is God just running a giant simulation?
Well, technically, yes.
Exactly. I mean, that's what it's comparable to. If you believe in God and the creator of the world.
Yeah. But that's also admitting that, depending on how you look at simulation theory, admitting that God doesn't have an effect on your life, that he started life, but that it just kind of runs from there on out.
But they can manipulate the simulation. Oh. They can add and take away certain elements that will affect how we react.
Weird.
So I don't know.
Existential conversations on Conspiracy Corner today.
My favorite type of conversation. But I don't believe personally that I'm a computer simulation because it's depressing, honestly.
You don't want to think that.
I don't want to believe that I'm part of a computer.
And even if you are, like, at this point, it doesn't matter. You're still living your life.
No, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to live my life. So.
But people who think that are like, you don't actually control any of the decisions that you make or the things that happen to you. Like, a lot of people that believe in simulation theory believe that they have no control over their own life and, like, nothing, their decisions don't matter because it's all simulation.
Your decisions do matter. I would argue that they do matter because you can't control what happens to you, but
they affect other things.
You can control how you react, though.
Right? And
it's just like with The Sims. Like, I don't really know exactly how The Sims work, but you can decide: are you going to go to the grocery store or to the library? You can decide. You have the choice. You have free will.
Yeah.
To decide what you're going to do.
Or you think you have free will.
Yeah. Or it's just a version of myself. Controlling.
That's so spooky. But
and, yeah, like I said, I had deja vu a few minutes ago.
Of us talking about simulation theory. Well, we have talked about it before, just not on the podcast.
Maybe that's why. But just unexplainable
I get deja vu
like
all the time. Like, weirdly all the time.
And maybe in
Is that a glitch?
In another simulation, you've done the same thing.
And you're just, like, connecting it?
And there also simulation theories that there's multiple simulations, so there could be another you.
So string theory.
Parallel universes.
Parallel universes.
Yeah, it gets a little messy here.
Wow.
I hope that was a good enough explanation.
Food for thought.
That's a lot.
Also, upon the possibility of talking about this on the podcast, for some reason, must have been weeks ago, I put ... is Elon Musk fucking with us? So, apparently, Elon Musk must have tweeted something about simulation theory to mess with us.
I think Elon Musk has said that he believes that the chances that simulation theory is true are pretty high.
Oh, really?
I believe so. He's a computer genius, so yeah. he would know, and I'm not sure if it's him that has run the numbers or someone else.
Do you follow him on Twitter?
No.
He's so hilarious. He literally, that's what he does. He just messes. Because he's so smart that, like,
follow him.
I feel like my uncle is very similar to him. Is like, you can never really tell when he's, like, being sarcastic or when he's messing with you because the stuff that he's saying is so believable. And that's this guy. Yeah, so maybe he's telling everyone that simulation theory is right, and it started this revolution of people thinking that simulation theory was a thing, and he's just messing with us. He's like, haha, now all of you plebes think that simulation theory is a real thing.
And it could. I know that some of these conspiracy theories are ridiculous, but it's just fun to entertain
Well, it's
them.
weird that this one can connect to so many others, and the fact that it parallels so well with religion.
Mm-hmm.
And also, this one is on a bigger scope. It's not like one incident or something.
Right.
It's the whole world in existence.
Mm-hmm.
So, is the simulation theory include the entire universe, or does it just include Earth?
I think it could include the entire universe. It depends.
So, like, if we start interacting with the rest of the universe.
It depends how fast you want to go back. If you want to simulate the beginning of time, technically, you could with a computer.
Weird.
I read a book about this. It was by Dan Brown, the author of the Da Vinci Code, but his books are my guilty pleasure. They're not... The plots are all very similar in all of them, but the ideas he brings in are just pretty interesting. The writing's not the greatest, but they're very entertaining, so I like them. But anyway, his latest book was about a computer simulation of the beginning of time, where they put into the simulation all of the elements that were supposedly present at the beginning of time to see if it was possible that the universe was formed from a Big Bang, or if there had to be the presence of something else, a creator. So it was essentially science versus religion. They were trying to use this computer simulation to affect it. And just really interesting. So if the computers have the power, supposedly you'd be able to simulate the beginning of time all the way to humanity.
Yeah.
Now. Really interesting. That book made me think a lot. I almost need to read it again to fully
understand
absorb
it.
Everything.
I do that a lot of times with documentaries. I just don't like pick up on everything. But the whole idea of it is very bizarre, though.
Yeah, if anyone's interested in learning more about simulation theory, you should look up on YouTube. I'm pretty sure Kendall Ray has a video about it. I really like her videos. She's a YouTuber, so it's Kendall Ray, R-A-E, Simulation Theory. I think they either have a podcast.
They do a podcast.
Is it her, or was it Jenna and Julian who did it?
Jenna and Julian talked about it on theirs, but Kendall Ray did a whole episode about the simulation theory.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
She's the higher... What's it called?
Mile
Higher podcast, and then the Jenna Julian podcast. They both talked about them. So they're trying to work on Alexa so she can hold 20-minute small talk conversations with people. Alexa meaning like the little person that talks back to you, the Amazon Echo or whatever. And so essentially that's a simulation. So eventually when they develop those, like, that technology enough, will Alexa and Google and Siri think that they're real people? Because they're simulations, you know what I mean? Like, if you were to, like, once the technology develops to where they can talk to you, like a normal person can talk to you, are they going to think that they're real?
It's definitely a possibility. That's scary.
Yeah. And then robots take over the world.
Yep.
That's a different conspiracy.
Yeah, unintended consequences. So.
One episode, we're going to not talk about technology, but that episode is not today. I feel like every single one we talk about the development of technology and how it's going to affect our world.
I think we do, but...
Okay, so next episode, so our, the April episode, we will talk about nature.
Yeah, nature.
Or something along those lines that doesn't have anything to do with technology.
I have a good conspiracy we can talk about that doesn't have anything to do with technology.
Ooh, teaser, what is it?
We haven't talked about the Titanic, have we?
Oh, no, we haven't.
That's my favorite conspiracy.
I've never heard of a conspiracy theory surrounding the Titanic. All right, look forward to that in our April episode. Whenever you're ready.
Do you want to say it? Or like...
So our fact of the day, we tossed around a couple ideas because we wanted to do one about animals, but they were all sad, so we'll leave you to find those on your own. So our fact of the day is about online dating.
Yes, this is from a survey done by The Knot.
Like the bridal magazine?
Mm-hmm. It's a website, too.
Yes, okay.
So I hope this will give everyone some hope. It says that in 2017, 19% of brides said that they met their spouses online.